Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. Now, you didn't see a thumbnail, you didn't see a title, so don't worry. Have no fear. Have no fear. We are here. We're going to be talking about this young lady. Her name is Lilly Gaddis, and she's a professed racist. She expresses that she has deep-rooted animus toward other people groups apart from her own. And I mean, the classic definition of racist, not the whole privilege and power foolishness, but the classic definition of a racist. And she says it. She has no problem with it. There are instances where one could almost understand where she's coming from, but then there's other instances where she's completely out of pocket. I've expressed and talked about this young lady before, and one of the worst examples is that she broad brushes everybody as if only, for example, she talks about Black people and misbehaving out in public as if every Black person does this. Well, we've argued that that's not true, so the broad brush doesn't work. And then the argument is that, well, the ones who don't subscribe to this behavior aren't saying anything, which is just, again, patently not true. So I was a little bit surprised the other day when I realized that Lilly has found out about Tiffany Henyard. You're about two years late, but welcome to the party. And she does a quick response. It's not really a response. She does a quick summary of Tiffany's story for the people that don't follow other outlets that have been discussing this. But I thought it was interesting because it's very disingenuous, as if the people of Dalton, the people of Thornton Township and abroad, I mean, for crying out loud, Tiffany Henyard was global at one point, as if we've not been saying that this woman is out of pocket, as if we've not been saying that this woman doesn't represent Black women or women in power or Black people in general, whatever, as if nobody has said this. Like, until Lilly came in, like, whoa, thanks, Lilly. We really needed that. So I'm going to pull it. I just pulled a couple of clips. I thought it was super interesting how she approached this. I don't want to be long. If you want, I'll put the link to her video down in the description. She has, again, her channel is uber problematic. She says some of the most bombastic, ridiculous things about Black people and other people groups. And again, I understand when you're talking about the bonnet slides and pajama mafia, absolutely. But when you look at other people, you can't lump them together. You just can't do it. They're not in the same stratosphere. And she does that a lot. But let me just bring this in. We'll just talk about it real quick and get out of your way.
She had to say for the, quote, snitches who weren't pleased about her spending
let me back this. I feel like it's low.
She had to say for the, quote, snitches who weren't pleased about her spending taxpayer money.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching, and y'all went and got my site shut down. My Tiffany on the Move podcast. Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast. Well, it's said that when truth speaks, everybody gets scared and everybody gets up running. Well, just like I told you, if you want the tea, get it from me. And if you want to check me out, because I got other platforms, go to Spotify. And that way you'll see Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast. Yes, Spotify. And you can also go to Apple Podcasts, because those are different outlets to view all the content. And y'all asked me for the receipts, but I got the receipts right here on ice, like I always do. Y'all asked for it, and I'm about to deliver. I got episode after episode after episode. Just wait your turn. Yeah, your turn coming. Just wait.
But
y'all doing all that talking. Y'all doing all that lying. And I told y'all, stop lying on me before I start telling the truth on y'all. And that's what this is. Truth speaks right here.
I'm telling you, how do you not love this woman? Okay? We just have to sit back and let them tell them themselves. Let's take a look at this article now and see what exactly she's up to and what she's being charged with. So this is recent, like this.
Okay, before she gets into this, because I don't think Lilly does a good job of really explaining Tiffany Henyard. If you were not familiar with who Tiffany Henyard was, you're not going to get a good understanding from Lilly. I'm sorry. She doesn't do a good job at that. But she doesn't make any effort to highlight any of the dissenting voices against Tiffany. She makes no effort whatsoever. The Dalton Politics Group, the countless YouTubers who've been calling her out. She literally makes it she comes across as if everybody of high melanin supports Tiffany Henyard. Not that Tiffany Henyard is on an island by herself and her married boyfriend. She's on an island by herself and nobody is rocking with this. Or even the fact that, hey, the overwhelming majority of people voted against her, both in the township as well as in Dalton. She doesn't make any of that. You would literally believe, listening to Lilly's story, that everybody rocks with this. Let me let her finish this up.
This is literally breaking news, with hence why we're even talking about this now. Okay. So let me take it out of studio mode real quick. Former Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is due in court on Friday and could be put in jail if she fails to show up. Henyard is due in court for failing to produce records in a lawsuit against her in the village over documents that she hasn't handed over as part of a Freedom of Information Act request. A judge previously said Henyard could be fined $1,000 a day if she doesn't give the documents to the plaintiff's lawyer. If Henyard doesn't show up to court on Friday, she could be thrown in jail. Henyard is the subject of an expanded federal investigation into finances and spending in South suburban Dalton and how taxpayer money was spent in the neighborhood. Wait, hold on. See, this is the worst part. When I'm looking at the monitor, it keeps switching it. So that's what she's up to. The FBI is now inquiring into what this woman has been up to, because this is an example of black people off the chain. Literally, pun intended. And this is kind of how it goes. She fights her own black constituents. She yells and curses and screams whenever they decide that they don't actually want her and she's not God's gift to earth. And now it seems like if she doesn't show up to court, she will also be evading arrest. It's like a modern day crime boss. It's a modern day mafia don. Modern day mafia don in black. So you know what?
Okay. So back again, as I said before, she makes a lot of assumptions that nobody, because notice she says nothing. Now, maybe Lilly just didn't do the research, and that's on her. If she didn't do the research, that's her decision not to be properly researched. But the idea that nobody is pushing back on Tiffany Henyard, or nobody pushed back on Tiffany Henyard, but you don't want to highlight that and you just say that blacks are misbehaving. No, this is not even in the ballpark. This is not. And I just think that Lilly puts herself in a pickle. I'm telling you. Now she's playing to the lowest common denominator. She knows that people are going to rock with her. The problem is in her presentation, she's not giving full information. Let me finish this up.
Love her. I'm so sorry to see her go. I will miss her. I will miss her. It was I mean, not a day went by that there was not some new antic from Tiffany Henyard. But I'm sure we will find a new Crockett. What's that woman in Crockett? Jasmine Crockett. She's up there as well, but she doesn't quite have the audacity and the tenacity of this woman, and that is why I like Tiffany Henyard.
Well, that's Lilly. I thought Lilly is an interesting case study in when you're not properly, you don't fully understand your subject matter. And let me back that up, strike that. Lilly's problem is that she comes from a lens that she despises certain people groups. I mean, she's announced that she's an avowed racist. She says she's a racist, and not just because I say it. She's literally said that, and she does think that people are inferior based upon their skin color, that they're inferior mentally, genetically, and so forth, just because of their skin color. Nothing else, nothing more. She doesn't believe in nature versus nurture. She doesn't believe that culture plays a big role in people's upbringing and the way they act. But even worse than that, she ignores the overwhelming data that shows that a lot of people don't rock with Tiffany. A lot of people don't rock with Jasmine. I did a video yesterday about Jasmine Crockett too. Not a lot of people rock with Jasmine. Now, and a lot of black people say that this behavior does not comport or does not support or does not reflect my values. But she just ignores that and straight out, just in outright, just ignores it and just pretends like that doesn't exist. So it's just interesting. I wanted to real quick jump in and I hate to say I got to defend Tiffany for a second. I don't really got to defend Tiffany. Tiffany's still out of pocket. She was still out of pocket for sure. And Lily's out of pocket with her. They're out of pocket together. They could be out of pocket on the same side of the island, whatever. I don't even care. But I do want to know what y'all think. So please down in the comments, let me know. Let me know. Hey, JC, I think you might be a little bit overdoing it. You might be overselling it, or JC, you're right there. I'm right there with you. Either way, I'd appreciate hearing what you think about it. And for a hot second, just want to say shout out to President Not Perfect so much. Thank you so much, brother, for stopping through. Always glad to see you, brother. Good morning to Miss Loves. Disappointed. Absolutely. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah. Look into Lilly. Look into Lilly, West Virginia Wire. Look into her. She is an interesting lady, to say the very least. But more than that, and you know what? I'm gonna end on that. She builds off of her her lack of information. She builds off of her lack of information. I will tell you emphatically, I don't know every white person. I know quite a few white people. I don't know every Hispanic person or Asian person. So I would not make a statement such as every Asian person or all Hispanics, this, that, and other, and definitely the entire white people group XYZ. I wouldn't do that because I know that I don't know all the information. I don't. Now I might say all the white people that I know that are on my block, XYZ, or all the Hispanic people in this restaurant, 1, 2, 3. That would be fine. But I recognize that I don't have all the information, and I can't make a broad brush generalization without being accused of being wrong. And I know that I probably would be wrong. I feel comfortable that I probably would be wrong. Lily just ignores that. She just ignores that. Oh, well, hey, she even said it, the blacks doing something other. Who are you talking about? Who? That Tiffany Henyard doesn't represent me. And on the same note, I don't represent Tiffany Henyard. The bonnet, pajamas, and slide posse, they don't represent me. So why are you lumping or even making an attempt to lump me into that group with them? As if I don't say anything against that. As if I don't say, no, I'm not rocking with that. But see, you don't know, and therefore you're showing your ignorance by saying comments, Lily, like you did. And that's where I think that kind of pushback again needs to be exacerbated. We need to push that. We need to push back on that narrative quite a bit. Shout out. Thank you so much. Is that Messy Michonne in the building with a very kind $10 super? Thank you so much. Good morning, Messy Michonne. A beautiful content creator, makes outstanding content, by the way. And as a matter of fact, Messy, if you would drop first of all, thank you for the very kind super. But could you also drop your link in the chat so that people know what you're doing over there, causing all that good trouble, as they like to say, over there in those YouTube streets? Shout out to Messy Michonne. Thank you so much for that. Very kind. What does West Virginia say here? Definitely. That's why I always challenge people with questions and then get accused of coming for them because I speak matter of fact without a lot of emotion in my voice. I could be emotional though. Absolutely. And I always encourage people, hey, ask questions. It is perfect. Let me use Messy Michonne because first of all, she's a stream sponsor right now. And I recognize that I don't know everything about Messy Michonne. That would just be silly. It would also be super silly for me to say that everybody who looks like Messy Michonne behaves like Messy Michonne. That just doesn't make sense. She is her own independent woman that God has made just like he made her. She's different from my wife, from my daughters, from the lady at the Publix, and she's just different than everybody. It's fair to say there are some generalizations. Sure. I think she's on the East Coast. So, we can make some generalizations about East Coasters, right? But we also recognize that it doesn't apply to somebody who's in Hawaii, a woman that might look like Messy Michonne that lives in California. We recognize that. And sometimes those stereotypes and making those and I do it sometimes. I even tell y'all, sometimes I'm making broad brush generalizations. But I try to be fair as possible. And I would not say, and going back to Lilly, she doesn't give fairness. She is not trying to be fair and say, hey, you know what? This might not apply to all people that look like Jason. But everybody that I know that looks like Jason, XYZ. Then that would be a fair generalization, because then we know that it's limited to her experiences. Because I don't think Lilly has any friends, any Black friends that actually are doing anything. Everybody she talks about is the ne'er-do-wells that do nothing. They're doing nothing. And like, well, but there are tons of us that are doing a whole bunch of stuff. That's not us. Sure. And I've said it's the loud minority. It's the messy, loud minority, not messy Michonne, but messy, loud minority that are getting the bonnets, pajamas, and slides crew. They're getting all the attention. But the ones that are taking care of their families, the two-parent homes, raising their children, paying their taxes, going to church, loving their neighbors, and being a good member of society, that's the majority of Black people. Just like I say that's the majority of white people. I believe that's a large number of Hispanic people. I'm going on a limb. It's a large number of Asian people too. Sure, there are ne'er-do-wells in every people group, but I'm not saying that every Hispanic XYZ. That's just an ignorant statement. And Lilly does that wholesale. She does it with impunity. She doesn't even care that she's just saying the most bombastic things about people, and that has to be challenged. So that's why I brought this video in, even though she was talking about Tiffany. And look, we all was getting layups on Tiffany, right? We was all getting alley-oops off of Tiffany. No question, no argument for me whatsoever. But on the same note, though, she's saying it as if, like, let's bring Messi back in here, as if Messi had never said anything bad about Tiffany. As if Dear Woke Christian had never said anything about Tiffany. As if there wasn't an entire Dalton politics page, the trustees of Dalton page, the tons of other content creators that have been calling out Tiffany Henyard since, dare I say, day one, but definitely day two. She makes it sound like all of us just co-signing that. Oh, go ahead, Tiff. You doing great, Tiff. No, that's not the case at all. So that's what I saw that video today. I was like, this woman is out of pocket. I'll leave the link to her channel on my in the description. I don't want to talk much about her because I don't think she's really that a good a person. I mean, she makes some broad brush generalizations. And again, I disagree with some of the things that my people group do. I disagree with some of those things. I made the joke about bonnets and slides and pajamas. Like, my daughters don't get to wear their bonnets and pajamas. They barely get to wear them downstairs, but they sure enough don't get to wear them outside in public. Yeah. And I disagree with the fact that we've made that like a cottage industry. Walk around in your bonnets and pajamas. That makes no sense. Where's the decency? Where's the dignity? But that's something that I believe Black people need to have. That, we need to bring all Black people come up here to the front of the church. We need to have a conversation about that. That's what I believe. There we go. Messy Michelle. Make sure y'all check out what she's doing over there. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate you. Oh, and she's an East Coast Avenger. There we go. We love our East Coasters. See, she ain't in the bonnets and pajama mafia either. So therefore, it would be foolish of me to say that all Black women do that. That's just something. Now I can make broad generalizations, but I realize that that's not going to work. And I'm going to get a whole lot of hands shooting up saying that's not me. I don't do that. I'm not about that. So why even make the generalization? I think maybe the only thing she would care about sounds to me like her attention and money. I have to say that. I don't want to impugn somebody's intentions, but there's truth in what you're saying there, West Virginia. There's a lot of truth there, in my opinion, based upon information and belief. 5 minutes of fame won't even stoke a point. Yeah, she's an interesting cat, to say the least. Child, I definitely said bad about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, she approaches it. Matter of fact, let me grab the link real quick while I'm on it. She approaches it as if, Michonne, as if nobody has ever addressed Tiffany. You would literally think that, again, she makes no references to the Dalton Politics group. No references to her being voted out. She doesn't make any point about the vast majority of people in Dalton are Black, and they voted against Tiffany Henyard. The overwhelming majority of people in Thornton Township had no problem with the Raucous Caucus and wanted her out. She makes no point of that. I'm gonna just drop it in the chat, as if again everybody was cool with it. I don't think Lilly lives in Illinois. Tiffany lives in Illinois, and I don't think Lilly lives in Illinois. I don't think so. I don't agree with my people in cottage cheese. That is you know what? I have not had, that's such an interesting point that you brought that up. I haven't had cottage cheese in decades. My mom used to, what was it? What did she used to, my mom was big on cottage cheese. What was it that she used to make? She used to make something with cottage cheese. And I always thought it was like, it's like, okay, what possessed you to actually want to eat this? How did you look at that and say, oh, I should eat that? I forgot. Now I'm gonna have to call my mom and ask her what is it. It was something she was eating. I haven't had cottage cheese since I've been an adult. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to call, or maybe I'll text her real quick and ask her, what did you eat cottage cheese with? Ask my mom. Oh, she's gonna earn it. I'm glad. I'm telling you right now, she's gonna earn it. Absolutely. But yeah, so y'all, I just want yes, let me text her right now. She's gonna be like, why are you bothering me? That's what she's gonna say. But I would have talked to her before the day is over, because she was gonna come over later on today. All right. What did you eat cottage cheese? What did you eat cottage cheese with? But to the point that loves disappointed parent, I don't agree with cottage cheese. All right, there we go. Shout out to him. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I've never, my mom used to eat it with peaches. No, was it peaches? It was a fruit now. Now you've got my mind going, present not perfect. Okay. I could rock with yogurt, but it was cottage cheese. I'm like, what possessed you to eat this, Mom? Yeah, Keith, and her content is wild, to say the least. Good morning to you, Gemini. Good morning. Good morning. Cottage cheese and peach. I don't think that's what it might have been. Pineapples. I think that's what it was. Hold on. Did she reply? Y'all gonna make me call her. I don't want to call her. I think it was a diet food, because you don't want to eat anything else. You're like, I don't want to eat that, so I'm just gonna starve. Like, I see cottage cheese, I'm just gonna starve. You know what? This is an interesting question right here. Right here. We realize, Austin, that is a generalization, a stereotype, and there might be some empirical evidence to that point. But we realize also that it doesn't apply to all of them. And we could all just say, hey, you know what? Yeah, there's probably some data that would show that, 7 out of 10 are not good drivers. We could probably make that. Maybe, I'm sure you can probably find some data that says that, right? But we also realize that if somebody says, well, I'm a good driver and I don't have a bad driving record, whatever, we realize that we are looking at somebody outside of what we believe to be true, our stereotype. And even more than that, we recognize that we're not building are you not going to sell a car to this person, or because you have this prejudice or this stereotype or this preconceived? That's more of what I'm talking about. Like, would you say, oh, or if they were your Uber driver, oh, I can't get in the car with them because they're bad drivers. Is that what we're going to do? That's where I'm not building I might hold some stereotypes. We all do. You don't even have to say them. We all do. but I'm not going to impede somebody from their being able to work or whatever like that because I have a preconceived. Thank you, West Virginia, for the very kind super sticker. Thank you so much, friend. Appreciate you. My daughter's mom eats it right from the container. Wait, am I getting the sentence wrong? Miss Love's disappointed father. My daughter's mom just. Okay, no, never mind. I got it. Never mind. I got it. And my mom has it. My mom might still be in the bed. Y'all got me harassing my mom this early in the morning. Talking about some cottage cheese. I really think it was some kind of diet food. I think you're right. Diet food. That's hilarious. So if I eat cottage cheese or yogurt, I always go to full fat. I really do believe it was like some kind of trend in the 80s to eat cottage cheese as a and I want to say it was with some kind of, it might have been with pineapples or I know like Greek yogurt and like blueberries. I mean, yogurt was real big when I was a kid, and it really like blew up. Was that fruit on the bottom yogurt and stuff like that? Yeah, that's y'all go ahead with cottage cheese. I'm judging you silently. I'm gonna tell you right now. I might even turn the camera off and talk about you. But yeah, I am not a fan of cottage cheese at all. But I had to say I haven't had it in. I don't think I've had it since I've lived here in Georgia. Easily. Yeah, I cannot think of an instance where I've had cottage cheese. Maybe if you've mixed it in something, because you can bake with cottage, you can use it in cooking, right? That's the only crazy thing I could think of. What's going on, Lady Luck in the building? What's going on? Crazy thing is that they only read the comments to fit her narrative. Oh, you're talking about Lilly. Hands down. There is no objective approach to this. The only thing I'm upset about with Lilly is I realize now she has 41,000 subscribers. How did she get past me? We were neck and neck. Hold on. Y'all, I'm calling injustice. Hold on. Let me get my flag on the play. Hold on. Wait. She's got more. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get my flag on the play. Yeah, here, y'all.
Flag on each and every one of y'all.
Man, if you have not subscribed to the channel, y'all need to do that. How y'all gonna look, y'all gonna let Lilly have more subscribers than me? For real and on purpose. I just realized this. This is an injustice. And let me show this so y'all can see. How she got, maybe I need to put my glasses back on. How she got 41,000. Oh, y'all can't even see this. Y'all, how she got 41,000? Y'all, we got to make this right. We got to make this right. This is unacceptable. Oh my gosh. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Wait, what is it? Okay, now we're back to okay. I did not intend diabetics eat a lot of cottage cheese with fruit. Interesting. Now I'm waiting for Mama Dear Woke Christian. I think my mom is still in the bed, y'all. Y'all got me texting my mom at 8 o'clock in the morning. Excellent source of calcium. I love cottage cheese. Okay, there we go. All right. Interesting. I have no idea, none whatsoever, how we got on cottage cheese. That one is going to go down in the book. I might have to go back and watch the tape. Yeah, I have to go back and run the tape because I have no idea how we watch. So, Lady Luck, we were actually talking about Lilly here. She did a video on Tiffany Henyard. And I feel like I really feel like I've done a video or two about Tiffany Henyard, probably like 50. And a lot of the way this woman approaches it is as if nobody is or no one has said anything about Tiffany Henyard, as if she says the blacks, as if everybody who's of high melanin supports Tiffany Henyard, which I think we all can agree is not true. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And I don't want to give her a whole lot of shine, except y'all make sure you subscribe to the channel, help your brother out. I just want to point out, like, no, the issue is Lilly is intentionally and deliberately skipping over the Dalton Politics group, the tons of other content creators who've called out Tiffany Henyard, the tons of newspaper articles and online stories and news stories about Tiffany Henyard. And of course, the raucous caucus and getting kicked out, team clean house, all that stuff. She's kind of like ignores that and just talks about as if we're all been supporting her, which because she's black, which is just foolish. So yeah, I just think it's interesting. So anyway, that's how we got here. So definitely go check out Lady Luck Club. Y'all go check out Lady Luck Club as well. Fantastic content creator. And she lives here in Georgia. And you know us Georgians, we need all the support we can get. We need it all. Correct. She is lumping everyone together, and that's how racists think. They think that we are all the same. And she actually avows herself to be a racist in the classic sense, not the new postmodern definition. She calls herself a racist. She says that. And so that's where she gets a lot of her framework from, is that she starts with a narrative that is completely flawed, an ideology that's totally lacking in some sound ideas. So she starts from there, and that's where she gets it from. So that's her. I hope she gets saved, though. I hope she changes, gets converted. What's going on, Brian Tomlinson? Good to see you, sir. Grace and peace to you this fine morning. We got a lot going on today over here at Whitaker Park. Hopefully you all have a great day planned as well. I wanted to just talk about this, and I was just like, oh, she needs Jesus, and all the exclamation points. If you know me, I don't like putting a lot of exclamation. I don't believe in putting multiple exclamation points, except in this case. She needs them. I still want to have a discussion about Black fatigue as well. A concept like that can be abused by a racist person. Oh, she's talked about Black fatigue, and she's abused it. She's abused it. Where is it? I saw it earlier. I know I've talked about it. But yeah, let me know. She's had the conversation before. Lilly has, and it's bad. Again, you start with a faulty premise from the word go, and then it's easy to slide down into just complete and utter lunacy. And she does that pretty well. Somebody told me I should have a conversation with her. I don't care. I'd have a conversation with her. All right. Got some day 2 things going on. All right. No, I don't. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I'm just saying that I don't think so. Austin, that's a great question. I don't believe so. What I do think, however, yeah, I don't believe so. I do think, however, she did take advantage of her ethnicity and use that to promote her bad ideas forward and say, because I'm Black, support XYZ. Just like Jasmine Crockett, I don't believe primarily Jasmine Crockett is a racist. I don't think she believes that white people are inferior or genetically inferior. However, do they take advantage of opportunities? Unequivocally. Is she a taking advantage of it? Yes. No question, no doubt there. All I'm saying, I just saw somebody said they like cottage cheese. I was trying to be serious, and then I saw cottage cheese pop up on the screen. So I believe, I have no problem with you being proud of your ethnicity. Absolutely. I say all the time, the Lord bless me with all this great melanin. That's all. I'm cool with that. I'm thankful to the Lord for that. I don't think less because somebody has less melanin. That's just silly. And I don't think less because somebody's culture is different than mine. They enjoy their culture. Rock on. So whatever. And I enjoy my culture. Rock on. There you go. Do you. So really, truly, at the end of the day, I hate to say let live and let live, but you do away with a lot of this racial foolishness by just living and let live. It's like, hey, do you and be who you are and enjoy who you are. You can celebrate your people group and rock on like Donkey Kong. There you go. So that would be my pushback on that. Yo, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get some work done. I have no idea, Ramona. Okay, Ramona. Okay, I gotta ask this question. What do you eat cottage cheese with? Because I reached out to Mom, dear woke Christian, and she is not awake yet, and she has not replied. I really think my mom is asleep. Y'all got me harassing my mom early in the morning. What do you eat cottage cheese with? That's my last question. Like fruit? I think that's what she was eating it with when I was a child. But don't quote me on that. I'm the darkest in my family. I was called the brown seed. I didn't feel it was racist by any means. Yeah, I mean, we just to me, there's a lack of being gracious that I feel like people who espouse classical and postmodern racial ideas are not willing to be gracious and just say, you know what, I can be gracious to you. Pete, there's all these. Oh, there she goes. She replied. Yeah, I got my mom waking up early in the morning. She said little fruit cups. Really? When I was a kid, I don't remember you eating them with that. Interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. My mom ate them with fruit cups, she said. Peaches. That's wild. Y'all are something else. She ate it with fruit. Cottage cheese can be turned. What? Oh, okay. Into flatbread. Yeah, I thought you could like use it in baking and stuff. How in the world did we get here talking about cottage cheese? I mean, this is going to be a study. How did we get here to talk about cottage cheese on June 3rd at 8 o'clock in the morning? Wait, cottage cheese, you all can have that. Enjoy. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can be gracious. See, this is an example. We can be gracious and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm probably not going to get down with cottage cheese. And just be gracious. There we go. That's it. Lilly needs to learn how to be gracious. All right. I got to go be gracious and get some work done. But y'all, thank y'all so much for rocking with me this early in the morning. Daisy makes a CC and fruit combination. Really? I'm not gonna even lie to y'all and tell you that I'm gonna eat some doggone cottage cheese. I told y'all there's a while ago I tried some kimchi. Man, that kimchi was fantastic, man. I tried it on the air and it was fantastic. I have to say, I still eat it, but I am going to get ready to bug out of here because I got some work to do, and me and President Firstborn are going to run some errands today because Lady Dear World Christian's going out of town tomorrow. Chief Executive Secondborn is at camp. I got to go pick her up on my own. We got a lot of stuff to do today. So anyway, y'all, thank you so much for rocking with me. I'll probably be back. I plan to be back this evening to talk about the Great Pookie Escape. If you did not see my video last night, matter of fact, I uploaded today. If you're interested, if you've been following the Great Pookie Escape, there's 2 criminals from the Orleans Parish Jail that escaped. There's 10 that escaped. 8 have been caught. There's 2 that are still out. Well, one of them did what most people do. You kind of knew it was coming. He got on Instagram and did an Instagram video. Matter of fact, let me grab it real quick and put it in the chat. And it is, so I had the full video. It's like 9 minutes long. And I played it last night. No problems with that at all. But if you want to see just like what he was talking about, I just dropped the link in the chat. I thought it was interesting. And well, clearly he's manipulating the story. I really believe that now. But if you're interested, it's right here. Check it out. It's interesting tonight. If I'll I'm coming back on to give an update. Hopefully there's some more response about this video and what the claims that he made in the video. And even better than that, hopefully they done caught these rascals and got them up off the street, because they've done some pretty bad things. They're some bad guys and not good people by any means or measure. So anyway, I will be doing that this evening, probably about 8 o'clock. I'll put a thumbnail up soon enough after I get done with this work. But everybody, I want to say thank you again for rocking with me. Thank you so much for supporting. Help me get more subscribers than Lilly. Y'all, come on. Please don't let this be my legacy. Y'all don't let this be the legacy. Dear Woke Christian did not have as many subscribers as Lilly. Don't let that happen to your boy. Come on, help me out. Everybody have an outstanding rest of the day. I'll see you all real soon. Until then, grace and peace. Take care.